Yes, hi. I just wanted to come back this week and do another update and expansion of my talk or the vlog I did last week. And what I want to expand on now is, let's recap. To recap, I was sitting in the chair one evening when I was very, very ill. I guess if you look at my reports, you'd probably say I am all the time very, very ill, but anyway, I was looking and I was laying there and I went into I was just sort of dozing off, and I listened to this beautiful music, which I want to explain and expand on that. But I listened to the music and looked up, and there I saw an absolutely stunning scene. And it was actually a tunnel. It was like it seemed black because I didn't see what was around it, but it was like a black tunnel. And there was the music, and there was this beautiful scene, and there was this wonderful invitation. It wasn't verbal, but I could really feel the invitation and the invite, like, you are welcome here, and come, and I just lifted off the chair because I felt the weightlessness, and I felt heavy before, and I felt the weightlessness, and I felt myself literally heading towards that scene, not even that, to that place. That would be a far better word. And I was heading towards that beautiful place. But then I stopped and, no, not yet, please, not yet. And then, of course, yeah, sure, it's your invite. And I went back down and I felt myself heavy in the chair again. So I sort of talked about that last week at length. But what I want to talk about, that music that I heard, is I hear that a lot of evenings. What happens is I go to bed just physically exhausted quite early, and especially when I was going through the pneumonia and the other issues as well, I go to bed and you would just rest, and then I just hear the music. It's funny because it was just silent, and then it just got louder and louder. And this happens on many occasions. Once my wife came in to check on me, and I was right in the middle, and I was listening to this music, and I said, "Oh, you can hear it now. Good, you can listen with me." And she goes, "Listen to what?" And that's when she opened up the windows on the house, and I said, "It's over there. It's coming from there, definitely." So she ran over, and I said, "Can't you hear it? You must hear it. I can hear it plainly." And she couldn't, she said, no, it's not from there. She said, "Well, you just sit back and enjoy it." And that's what I did. Many evenings I would just listen to this beautiful music, and sometimes it would be like a solo sort of music, like an individual singing with the music, and then sometimes it was a whole orchestral arrangement. But whatever it is, it's not like an orchestra where you think, "Oh, I hate classical music." It was something very unique, and words just can't describe it, but it's a beautiful music, and I had great peace listening to it. And you know what? That same invite that I had when I could see the place was there when I listened to the music. That same invite was there any time I could have said, "I'm ready, I'll go now." Because when I listened to it, there it is. And there was the invite, was there, and I didn't accept it, but I certainly listened to the music and enjoyed it, and probably let it minister to me in that way. And the other thing, I've got another minute, I want to talk about too, is that amongst all of that is during the evenings I would hear footsteps and sometimes a shuffle and a bit of noise coming from our living areas. We've got two living areas and a dining area that's all sort of open plan, I suppose you'd call it. And I heard all the shuffling and this noise, and what it was, I'd go out there, and my wife said, "Go out there when you hear it, run and catch them." So whatever it is, we went out there and we determined, no, it's angels. And the reason is that one night I did see a white figure in our lounge room, and it was as tall as the ceiling. And when this figure walked to go towards the hallway, it had to go underneath the entry point, or like an arch, but it's not an arch, it's a square. So instead of ducking to get through that, this figure shrunk, went through it, and then grew, and then disappeared up their hallway. And I just, wow. And that's how I know they're angels, because I could feel the peace, the same peace as when I was listening to the music, the same peace when I was heading towards that beautiful place. that I could see. I saw that angel and I could hear them many, many nights. I could hear the shuffle. And my wife's even heard the noise, some noises out there. And I've gone out to have a look, and you're there with the torch. And there was angels there. So there's a few things. So from that time where I could see where I could go, that supernatural realm, I could see that place. Then I was ministered to by the music on so many nights. I could hear that music. And then the angels. So I would say there is a lot of activity that's happening out there that isn't part of this planet, so to speak. But what I want to say is that, it's amazing. Now, my journey, an update on that. I had a bit of a rough trot for a few days, just coughing up lots of blood, and there's other things that you don't need to hear, but I got scans this week, and the lung still collapsed. But anyway, I've got scans and tests and all that. A lot happening this week. So, and I'm starting round 17, it is, of chemo. Now, next week is round 17. They tell me I'll be on it for life, but hey, from what I can see that's going on, that not in the physical, that's not going to happen. So anyway, that's my sort of addition to my last talk on that place. But I still want to go on this. This will be a little bit of a series because I've given you in 6 minutes, of what I've seen. But I should write it because there's a sequence of events and there is activities that happen. There is a bit more involved in all of this that is hard to say in 6 minutes. So I've given you the synopsis, I suppose, of everything. Maybe I could write it down, or maybe I could do a half-hour video, but it is hard to listen to be sitting in a chair chatting. But anyway, I wanted to update and expand on my last vlog, and let me come back and just talk about this a little bit more. And I might take a few notes and just give you a bit more detail on some of these activities. And if you have any questions, please write them down in the comments so that I can answer your questions on our next vlog. If you say, what did that actually look like? What did that actually sound like? What did that feel like? I don't know. Please, if you have any questions, write them down so I can answer them and we can continue this conversation in a lot more detail. And I appreciate your time and thank you for listening. That's me up. Okay, bye.